So hello everyone and welcome back. We have Eila Dunclafe here to be interviewed again, our part 2 video. And take it away, Eila.
Thank you. Hello again. I'm here to show you or explain to you how I start and work on a painting. I start first by sanding. First, you gotta find space to paint. That is a necessity. You need an easel, a chair, plus a small table to place your palette and paints and brushes, and even water containers. Paper towels and trash can is a necessity too. Good lighting is a necessity. Have a lamp up so it's showing onto your painting. A camera is an excellent way of getting pictures. Get out there and take pictures. Take many pictures, not from one angle, but several angles. Different lightings of the day is a perfect way to get excellent material to work from. I like to take the canvas and knock the tooth out of the canvas by sanding it slightly on the top. It gives you smoother surface to work from. And then you repaint it with a white gesso.
What level of sandpaper do you use?
I just use a fine sandpaper. I don't know if there's you wouldn't want anything too harsh because you don't want to work through your canvas, but just knock the tooth off the canvas. It just makes it a little easier. After you've done that, you can do a little sketch on there, whatever it is that you're going to paint. I'm going to talk about doing a landscape. They say landscapes are one of the easier ones, but I think it depends where your heart is and what you want to do. But I started with landscapes. A good way to start this is by painting. Use your big brush and you paint. Put your water on it. You spray your canvas first and wet it so your paint flows very easy. And you paint it in white. You put your white coat down with gesso and add burnt sienna and ultramarine blue, which will make it gray. And let that dry. Not all paintings have to have it dry, but it's a good starting point for a beginner. After you got that, what that has done is any holes in your canvas. These canvases will have tiny pinholes in them. Painting it with a gray or any other color that you want will seal those holes. And it also gives you a background color to start from. A medium color is an excellent choice, so it gives you that balance for when you're starting your sky. I start the sky with a darker bluish color. Okay, after the paint has dried, plan your composition by sketching a realistic drawing with charcoal. Charcoal is best used because it's easy to wash off. For a landscape, start the sky by using a 2-inch blender brush, using crisscross strokes. Darkest paint to the top, and as you go down in the sky, you use the lighter color by adding a little white. You go closer down to the horizon line, it should be quite light, giving it a distance into your painting. Next next, use a hog brush and do a shaping for your outline of your painting of the bush or whatever you have in it. A landscape is usually a distant forest. And as you come closer, you get lighter in color. And you do your shapings just by using a darker color that's going to bring out whether it's trees, which would be a darker color, which could be green, possibly a brown with that, or even add a little blue in it. That will make it darker. And as you come forward to your medium area, you use just lighter colors for your trees. Green and orange is great color to bring out medium colors in your trees. And you come down to your foreground. Oops, I think I got, that's for your undercoat I am talking about. Now your foreground will be your darkest of colors. The second coat is when you start shaping your trees even more and bringing them a lighter color, because each bunch of trees, whether it's in your foreground, medium ground, or background, your distant background, you have to shape them to give it a look of forest. You use your rougher, these brushes, the rigger brushes are used for your background, which is ideal. They're made for it, the background, and any of the heavy work, the workhorses of your paint brushes. The foreground is your darkest colors and is more detailed. This makes things look closer, and the background appears more distant. Next, I do the highlights. The highlights are bringing in your sun onto trees, water, whatever you have within your painting. After you have your highlights done, you still take another look at your painting. If there's any things that you need, bring out those details in the foreground as much as you can. At least that is what I do. Your painting must be signed and dated in the front. Now it is considered a finished painting. You clean your brushes. You clean your brushes by using your water. Acrylic is used for water anyway, so you wash them out in your jar, under your tap, whichever. Place it in your jar upside this way. The handle down, the bristles out to dry them. Perspective, accurate placing of and correct proportions of features such as trees, rivers, fields, wildlife, etc. are critical. Hard and soft edges are critical. Using warm and cool colors is a necessity too. Lights and shadows can be used to balance other shapes. Shadows are created by obstacles which prevent sunlight from striking the area. Mixing paints and textures can make and break a painting. Try mixing paints. Try green with other colors. Green with yellow, green with red, green with orange, and you'll see the difference of shades. Add white to each mixture. When you have done that, try green and purple. That makes a very dark color, very distant. Add white to it, even makes it a more distant color. Learn this by just working with your paints. That's something that took me years to learn, was your different mixing and shades and colors to use in a painting. There's it takes a lot of work, a lot of time doing that. Learn to mix grays. And professionals use a color and use as a contrast color, the opposite color on the color wheel. Burnt sienna and ultramarine blue and white are one of the big colors for mixing gray, but it does make a lighter gray. You can use a dark brown, a burnt urban, an ultramarine blue and white. Then try blacks. I don't own black paint. I mix my own black paints by mixing dark colors together. Your dioxazine purple, ultramarine blue, and burnt urban will make it of equal parts, will make a very dark black. Try this, Hooker's green, burnt sienna, and dioxazine purple. Keep paints clean, mix, but do not mud your colors. Wash it, brushes often. Reflections are always exactly the same height as the object that casts them. Clouds are both shaped and colors of the clouds to echo those that features in the land below, thus providing a balance. So if you put a burnt sienna in your land below, use it in your clouds. It brings out the clouds, it brings out the shape, and it gives it that harmony. Focus point is the center of interest. It must draw you into the painting. Clumps of trees, buildings, rivers, roads is a device to carry interest into the rest of the painting. Practice often. Improve your skills and become an experienced painter. Painting is something that I have used as my collective spending time. I live alone, so I certainly have a lot of time on my hands, and it certainly helps pass the time. It's a great way to occupy yourself. Certainly a great joy to do. I wish all that's into painting, do your best and practice often. I hope this little bit will help you through your painting days.
Well, I know it helped me. I learned some things for sure. I'm very excited to go home and start a new painting.